Well, while it was a lack of rain that troubled hay producers last season, it's the constant showers that has them worried this year. Damon Jones explains how the weather has greatly affected the harvesting and what farmers can do to maximize their yields.
While the old saying might go, you can never get too much of a good thing, don't tell that to hay producers, as heavy rains across the state have wreaked havoc so far this harvesting season.
We've got a really difficult situation this year because of how wet it has been. Folks have had a great difficult time getting into the field and getting their hay crops up. So we're really behind and really not getting a lot of good weather for drying conditions.
In fact, the rain has been such a big problem this year that some producers have yet to even get out into the fields.
You know, we've got a lot of folks that are telling me they're 2 cuttings behind, and that's just remarkable for this time of the year. I mean, ordinarily we would have made at least 2 cuttings of Bermuda grass by now and then working on our 3rd, at least in parts of South Georgia. But a lot of our folks are struggling to get that very first one out of the field.
And that's a huge setback not only for the quantity of forage, but also the quality, as harvesting at the proper time is essential to a digestible, energy-packed product.
We really like to target about 4 weeks if at all possible, because that's where you kind of optimize yield and quality. But after about 6 weeks or so, you really start losing a tremendous amount of quality. And for those that are about 8 or more weeks behind, that stuff is pretty much like straw.
And that creates yet another dilemma for the farmer, as they must weigh the risk of losing an entire cutting with the risk of causing long-term damage in their field. As for advice, Dr. Hancock says it's best to take it slow.
The soil is very prone to compaction, so getting out there too early has ramifications down the road. So what I would suggest is try it in a small area. We've tried it here at the farm in a little small area this morning just to see what it looked like. And we found it's very soggy, too wet to try to do anything longer term. So we're just going to have to wait till the weather turns for us.
And if the heavy rains weren't enough to worry about, the overcast conditions have also affected the forage quality this season.
We've had a lot of clouds and not a whole lot of sunshine. And when we get really low sunshine levels, low solar radiation levels, that really cuts down on the amount of energy and sugar that's getting into that grass. We're looking at, on average right now, about 2/3 of what we would normally get in terms of solar radiation.
So while there might be a number of difficulties to overcome this season, there are some things producers can do to minimize the damage. And those solutions range from equipment to simply adjusting your cutting height.
One thing to do may be to raise your cutting height up to about 4 inches instead of 2 inches, leaving a little extra in the field. That accomplishes 2 things. One is it increases the quality a little bit of the forage. And the other thing is it's going to help hold that forage up a little bit off of that wet ground and maybe help it dry a little bit as well.
Reporting from Watkinsville, I'm Damon Jones for the Georgia Farm Monitor.